Hey guys, well, I think the time has come to start working on this lawnmower. This is about a 98 or 99 Cub Cadet HDS 3205. They only made those 2 years, that particular model. I think that stands for hydraulic drive system or hydrostatic drive, I guess. But I picked this up about a year ago off Craigslist, and I had been looking for another mower because the mower I have been using for the past couple of years, you've seen that thing. And not only is it really an undersized mower for this property, but it's getting really worn out also. So even more so now, it's making some noises and doing some things I'm not liking the sound of. So I think we need to go ahead and bring this one back to life. Um, this is really, it was a pretty high end mower at the time. It's I think it's got a Kawasaki V twin liquid cooled engine. It's power steering. It's got a hydraulic deck lift. I think that's a 54-inch deck on it. It's of course hydrostatic and all that. I think it's got cruise on it. I think, but it has been well used. We'll take a look around here real quick at it. Get you off the stand. So it's not really beat up too bad. The seat's hashed. Part of the shroud off of it. The deck has got some rust on it, but it's not rotted. Yeah, that's a 54-inch. But it definitely needs some paint. Painted, redone. One of these is loose. Might not have been that one. I thought one of them was. Yeah, that one's kind of wonky looking. There's a dent here. And let's see what else was going on with it. That may have been about all of it. It look, it's not in too bad a condition. The main problem with this mower, and the reason why I got it pretty cheap, is that it has this pretty common leak through the axle tube. It's leaking out of the right-hand axle tube. You see it sat here and just really made a mess of the place. And it's a common theme with these. I don't know, these 3000 series mowers, the rear end is just kind of a weak point. So that's the first thing that needs to be addressed. I did have this running when I bought it. I did get it started and drove it up on the trailer. And so I know it's capable of running. It didn't run perfectly, but it ran. So this thing has got this finger pincher hood on it. So anyway, it's got a radiator in it and all that. So I thought this thing, it's a little bit of a complicated machine, I guess, but I thought that it was, it was deserving of being rehabilitated. So that's what we're going to do on this. So I've got to I've turned my little table there into a paint can storage area. So I'm going to clean that off and do something else with that paint. And we're going to use that table as a staging area for parts and things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this thing apart. I'm going to take the hoods off of it and all that. I can already tell it's been off before because it's missing. That's not the correct fastener. It's close. It's not the correct fastener, so we're going to take that off so we can access the engine easier because we're going to be doing some things to the engine. And then we're going to take off the pan back here, as I call it. We got to take the seat off and all that to get into this axle back here. The axle, I think this is a combined unit on these. It's like it's like a transaxle, obviously, but I believe from what I've been reading on the how-tos on this that you don't have to take it out. You can get to it. You just have to basically disassemble this thing. And I want to disassemble this that far down anyway because it makes it easier to work on different things and check things out. And I'm sure it's going to need a transmission service. It's got a filter on the transmission under there. It's probably never been changed, I'm sure, because it's got a battery in it. It's no good. And I was smelling gas in it when I got it. I smelled gas back here, so I'm thinking that it's probably going to have maybe a vent line or something out or broken or whatever, but we'll definitely be investigating that as well. And hard to believe, but somebody has disabled the hour meter on it. It's back to zero. Either it broke spontaneously. I don't know. And I'm having to think about what I did with the keys to this thing too. I'm sure I've got them. I just don't remember where. All right, guys, enough talking. So I'm not going to bore you. I don't get into watching people take just stuff apart like this. I think it's boring, so I'm not going to make you sit through this. Through the magic of video, by the time I come back, all this is going to be apart, and we'll get to look at it a lot closer and see what kind of bad stuff's hiding in here. All right, well, there's the battery, and it's a beaut. Looks like the date on it is 6/11. It's 9 years old. It looks to me like the end of it's bulged a little bit. Maybe just the way I'm looking at it, but it hides under this screen that just kind of slides out once you undo these little fasteners here. So it's been pretty easy to get into this so far, but I need to take that battery out because not only is it junk, but the platform, the holder there, is not looking real good. It's pretty rusty. So it's got a, I'd forgotten what this thing is for, but this is the battery hold down, or what's left of it. It's got a loop here. And I don't know what's going on here. Maybe there's supposed to be another piece of metal in it, like that one. But we'll figure that out. But anyway, let's look at the top of this battery. This is a Duralast. So the terminals are really, that one over there's a bunch of junk on it. So, all right, so we'll work that thing out of there. Looks like I've got a fuse box here, a junction box, and there's some sort of a relay down here, or a module or something. So anyway, that's gonna come out of there. I was taking this seat off, and when I flipped it over to unfasten that wire there, I heard something rattle. So I opened up this, didn't know what was here actually, but I opened up this little hidey hole, I guess it is, and found a few things in here. That's the cap to the left front wheel. This goes on the dash up there where that is. I don't know why it's off or came off or broke off. Something broke, so it's gonna be fixed. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is yet. That's one of the fasteners for the battery screen, I call it. But this, the guy told me that they had tried to repair this already, and I believe it now because that's a bearing block that goes in the rear end. I think on the outer end of it somewhere, or inner, either one. That's a seal there, and then that's a seal there. So we'll see what we find in this thing. So this could be bad or good, because either they've tried to repair it and it didn't repair because it's got a worn out axle shaft, or something else going on, but we're going to find out. We'll just deal with it. That's what I do here, is I just deal with it. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I wasn't sitting down. All right, so I got this pan off. This was not hard to do, really. You have 4 bolts up here. 1, 2, 3, 4 on that lip on each side. And then the seat, I guess, held it down in the rear. And you have to work it out around this thing, and it just comes off, this gas tank rather. Thing, yeah, it's a thing. Well, boy, what about that gas tank? You ever seen anything like that? It's huge, isn't it? So, anyway, I was looking to see if I could tell where the gas smell might be coming from. And probably right here, this thing was popped out. So I don't know how long it's been since they repaired this, worked on this thing, but you know, they probably just didn't get it put back in the right way. You know, it never fails to amaze me how people can be okay with doing a shoddy job. But I can tell you now, we're going to have to tow this thing out of the garage and pressure wash it, because it's just absolutely scrungy under here. So we're going to work on getting this gas tank out. I have no idea how this comes out. I may need to go ahead and take this plate off the rear here, I think, first, because I just don't want to be yanking on something that doesn't need to be yanked on with the mower. There's the fan. That's the cooling fan for the hydrostatic. It's usually how you can tell if you got a higher end mower, I guess. I'm not bragging on this thing, but you know, there's just a big difference in them. You know, stuff like that. That sets it apart. I guess some of the box store stuff has it. I don't know where this would have been sold at. One of you guys can probably tell me, but I'm sure it was probably not a box store. You know, they carry some Cub Cadet stuff, but this probably had to be sold through a dealer, I would say. So, but anyway, it's coming apart pretty easily. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take off this back plate, and we'll get into this further. Okay then, so since no YouTube machine revival video is complete without some sort of fluid draining money shot, we'll do it. We'll see what's in this sump for the transmission. There's a little bit of oil showed on the dipstick here, but who knows? We'll find out. Hope no big chunks come out. Oh boy, she's on there. Why did you get that set up before you turned the camera on? I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you wasted our time. You didn't have it ready to go. You didn't have it done. You weren't ready. I had to watch you look for tools for 30 seconds. I can't believe that. How dare you waste our time? Yeah, I bet that's been off recently. What do you think? Judging by how much grease and oil is on the oil filter under there, I'd say probably not. Are you ready? Get ready. Here it comes. Oh yeah, baby. I'm ready. Ah. It looks like clean oil to me. You wouldn't believe how much it smells like it too. It smells like brand new oil in there. It probably is brand new oil because it's been leaking and they keep putting, you know, you don't fix it, you just keep putting new oil in it. See what's on the drain plug here. A visual analysis of the drain plug shows a little bit of white flecking. That's not bad. That doesn't look bad. I don't know if it is bad. Like I said, all I know about this thing is it moved. So that's all I've got to go on. Well, at least it wasn't totally out of oil. But I was going to tell you, there's a significant debate about, or questioning about, what kind of oil these things use. But it says on that back panel I just took off that it uses some Cub Cadet spec fluid, but somebody says it's just like motor oil, and that's what it looks like. And that's exactly what it smells like. So okay then. I think the next thing we're going to do is not today, but the next installment, we're going to take this thing out and pressure wash it and get all this gunk off of it because it's nasty. This looks like the electric fuel pump here. This is a line going up front, and it's hard as a rock. It's the line that came out of the tank. There's an ancient fuel filter right there. I think there's two fuel filters on this. One here, one up front. So anyway, I'll let that drain overnight and put the plug back in tomorrow. Weather should be okay tomorrow to get out and tow this thing out because I gotta move the truck, move the car, hook the truck to the mower, tow the mower outside, and figure out how in the world I got this. I don't remember how I got this thing in here. I may have pushed it. I don't think I did though. This thing's a heavy monster. All right, guys. Well, thank you for sticking with me through this first episode. This is probably not going to be quite a musty one type video, but we're going to do our part here and see what we get into on this thing. So I think before I sign you off totally, I'm going to take you and show you just a quick glimpse of what we got to deal with coming up. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to have baling wire and duct tape on that.